Hello, my gorgeous dance baby. And today we are going to be talking about comparison and quite possibly debunking this whole idea that comparison is the thief of joy, because my belief is that obsession is the thief of joy. Or if you're comparing yourself in a non healthy or accurate way. So let's discuss this. So, comparison to me has been such a helpful tool to figure out where I am, where I was, and where I'm going. And it helps me to create goals and ideas that I want to include in my life. For example, let's flash back to middle school. And these are like simple comparisons that I'm going to start with. But, you see your friend and, she's got these cool, like, butterfly clips. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, I want those. Well, you just made a comparison and you realized you like something, which means you realized from someone else, from the act of comparing, that you like something and you want to include something in your life because something brings you joy. Healthy or not healthy? That that's pretty healthy. What when it becomes unhealthy, it's when it's like the obsession starts and it's like, "Oh my gosh, that person got this and then they got this and then they got this and now I have to get all of those things or be all of those things. Otherwise, I'm not good enough." So that little phrase of being good enough and being worthy is how we go about making sure that everything that we bring into our life is for us. So if you don't think that you're worthy, if you don't think that you're good enough, chances are you're not going to be doing the work to bring in all the things that you deserve. So, first, let's clarify comparison. Comparison is when you are looking at something and realizing something about yourself, whether you're comparing yourself to yourself or yourself to something else or yourself to someone's path. Okay. Now, let's talk about the idea that when we are comparing, we want to make sure that there's different waves and there's different paths. So, for instance, let's say let's say that you're in the industry of dance, and I'm looking at a professional dancer who is 18 and limber and has, Megan the Stallion knees. I'm going to be making a comparison potentially, and I'm going to say, wow, like, oh, those youthful knees, like that might feel so nice. You might be making that same comparison, like, wow, wish my body was like that still. And it's not. And that's quite okay. Literally, it's okay to be able to just not be that thing that you want to be. And it's okay to be able to want something. And then it's okay to also release it and let go, knowing that if it's for you, it'll come. So there's this like trust behind it where it's like that divine timing. What maybe you already had those moments where you were just like enjoying your knees. And as we age, we get used to the idea that things change. Okay, so if I'm comparing my success as a dancer when I'm 70 to the success of a dancer at 18 in terms of body limbering, it's going to be very different. I might beat myself up about it if I think about it. However, if I'm comparing myself healthily to someone else that is also in my age range or has dealt with chronic knee pain or anything like that, then my comparison is going to be a little bit more accurate and it's going to be a little bit more healthy, which means I won't go to the deep down, dirty level of obsession because what I'm going to be comparing is going to be more realistic than unrealistic. So, when you're thinking about comparing, are you comparing the middle of someone's journey to your beginning of someone's journey? Are you comparing the end of someone's journey, like they've already succeeded at that thing that you really want to do and they're a master in it, but you're a newbie? Because that would be a, yes, you guessed it, an unhealthy comparison. So now that we have that in our heads, let's go ahead and talk about the comparison of you to yourself. And this could be you to yourself in the present, you to yourself in the past, or you to yourself in the I mean, I guess the future, because you're thinking, we'll leave the future out of it for now. So, you to yourself a year ago. Okay, there's an assessment that's happening. And with assessment comes awareness. Awareness is the biggest tool that you can have in your life because it's going to show you. It's like going to the mall and you're like, oh my gosh, like I really want to go to Sephora's. And you're like, okay, but how do I get there? You have to know where you are currently to be able to find yourself on the map to know exactly where to go. So when you're thinking about your assessment and you're thinking, oh gosh, a year ago, you're creating the most awareness that you can for yourself so that you can go ahead and make better, more aligned, more accurate goals for yourself. So when you're thinking about a year ago, what are the things that you're saying? Hopefully, you're saying things that are like, wow, okay, a year ago today you were XYZ. So for me, for example, a year ago today I was doing some comparing earlier today and I was like, okay, gosh, a year ago today you were free of a little bit of pain in your other knee. Because my like second injury like didn't happen yet at this time last year. And I was like, "Oh man, that felt good." And like quite honestly, that comparison like made me feel a little bit sad. And also, I got the opportunity to be like, "Okay, and also your first injury was not as good as it is now." So, you're able to take that awareness and take that perspective and just be a little bit more realistic with yourself. So let's go into just a little idea on the creation of a goal versus the creation of an obsession. So we all know what it feels like to like really want something or to see something and we know it's for us. Like imagine your favorite thing in the world to do and you see this person literally making a life out of it, like literally making money from it. You're going to be looking at that feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, I could so do that. That's for me. Why aren't I doing that? All these questions that are like, poor me, poor me, poor me, victim, victim, victim. Instead, a great idea would be to gain a little bit of perspective and awareness around your potential. We would call that person maybe a, what do they call that? Not an inspiration, oh my gosh, what is that word? Anyway, we'll call it an inspiration because I think you know the word for me. Um, so you're gonna be looking at that person for like a guide in a way to be like, wow, I really, really like want to be like that. You're comparing yourself, right? That's a comparison. You're realizing someone's living their life a way that you would love to live. Okay, healthy. Where it becomes an obsession is when everything that you're doing is aligning with that person's path instead of your path. And when you're feeling like you're living like someone else's path, your purpose is not going to be as clear. So there's something that I believe in so hard, wholeheartedly, wholeheartedly, and it's divine timing. Divine timing is literally the reason why I say certain clients of mine come to my studio at certain times. Like people will literally, they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I've been following you for, 5 years and this is my first time coming in." Like they literally divine timing, like it just they were not ready to receive my message, to maybe like dance, maybe their body wasn't ready, maybe they didn't have financials in place, maybe they also just like knew they were going to get like too like subconsciously they're going to get too obsessed about being a newbie, and they're going to be like really mean to themselves. So like they needed to mature mentally to be able to receive the message that we do at dance, which is when you're a dancer, you're an athlete. You're not only an athlete with your body, but with your mind. Your mind is constantly at work and constantly at play. And that's literally what propels us forward and what makes us better dancers. And what also gives us this like upper edge, I think, because dancers, I was thinking about this yesterday, dancers have this really unique trait of receiving feedback and receiving critiques. We're literally always critiqued as we're learning. Fix your arm, da da da, straighten this, da da this. And we're literally taking that feedback all the time and implementing it right away. So it gives us this amazing upper hand, actually, like for the rest of life, because when feedback's given to us, whether at work or from a partner, we actually have the skills to just implement it right away, which is kind of freaking cool, if you ask me. But yeah, so when you're thinking about your own divine path, you're literally gonna think about just you. That's your path. No one can do you as well as you do you. So it's kind of like funny because when we're looking at other people, we think, oh my gosh, like that could be me. But it's not. That's them. They're doing their thing. So instead, think, okay, well, what is it about this person that I actually am obsessing over? Is it the fact that they're having so much fun with their work, or it looks like it? Then in that case, you want to be able to implement more fun into your day, into your work, maybe into more of your hobbies. So it gives you, again, that awareness to make more goals to move forward. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you about is this idea of comparison still, but it's like a, if I have this, then I also have this. Okay, so what I mean by this is I'm gonna say it. I I think I'm a pretty good dancer. So I have this talent of dancing. Okay, and maybe I see someone who has this beautiful, amazing talent at, we'll say, um, organization, because that's something that I like to work on all the time. If I ever once said to myself, oh my gosh, I wish I was as organized as she is or he is, I would literally be saying, I wish I had my abilities that I love about myself in addition to their abilities. It's literally asking for two really amazing strengths, which I'm sure, I mean, there's tons of people that we know and you know them. They're just like rock stars in every part of their life. But think about it in terms of like, would you give up your amazing talents for that person's talents? Because that's what comparing is, really. It's not knowing the whole story because you're including your whole story with it. So in other words, if we're talking simply, let's just think about like houses for a second. If you're living in a house and it has an amazing kitchen, but the house next door has a swimming pool outside, you might be like, "Oh my gosh, like, why don't I have their house?" And the truth is, you don't even know what's going on in that house other than it has a cool pool, and that's not what you have. You'd be giving up your kitchen, you'd be giving up your big room with your amazing library in there. So get really accurate on what you think is happening, which actually is a gigantic slap in the face for us sometimes because it's bringing us down to reality. And when we compare, in a way, we're daydreaming and we're thinking and we're getting really excited about possibilities. But if we just bring ourselves down and ground ourselves a little bit, then we're going to be able to figure out what is real, what is possible, what is attainable, what's healthy, what's accurate, and what is for us in a divine way, and what's unrealistic, what's obsessive. And we get to kind of collect these different ideas, and then we know how to check ourselves for when we're really over here too much and in the obsession zone, and when we're over here being healthy. Like I made a healthy comparison today. It started off and it could have gone a little bit negative, but it ended up being healthy. So I hope that this helps you when you're thinking about comparison. And I hope that the next time you have an opportunity to compare, you get an opportunity to make it so healthy so that it can propel you forward instead of holding you back. So I will talk to you the next time I see you, and I'll see you on the dance floor.